Welcome to the Lafaya Way, Mastering the Mental Game of Life, a podcast for people who refuse to fold in the face of adversity. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, professional obstacles, or high-stakes decisions, this show is to remind you that you have the power to play to win.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Lafaya Mitchell. This is the Lafaya Way podcast. I will be joined today by my guest, Lonnie Ray, and she is most awesome. But before we get started with her, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the show because this is my first episode. Okay. So I'm really, really excited. I First of all, I want to let you know to make sure that you send your feedback. I'd love to hear from you. What things do you want to hear from me? What kind of guests do you want to see? What could be something that we could add that might make the show a little better? Please make sure that you're sending in those comments because I want to make this show a wonderful show for you. Okay. And so the way we'll set it up basically will be a kind of a learning how to turn lemons in life into lemonade, right? So we're looking at how to do that, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of a poker twist because there's so much in poker that can teach you the things you need to know to be successful in life. Okay, so we'll go through all of that. I'm super excited. So without any further ado, I'll just get started with Miss Lonnie Ray. Come on in, join me.
Knock, knock.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, it's wonderful to see your beautiful face and your beautiful smile. How are you today?
Oh, good. Congratulations on your show. Woohoo!
I know, right?
You did it.
I was gonna start it. I forgot to throw my little vibe in with the beginning music because it goes really well. Maybe we could do that together a little bit at the end.
Absolutely. Let's rehearse. I only do the Running Man these days, but we could do it.
Ooh, Running Man. I have bad knees, so anyway. Anyway, Lonnie, do me a big favor and introduce yourself to everybody really quick. There's lots of wonderful things you're doing, but go for it, girl.
Well, they can read my bio. What I thought was I would just open up with something that hit me this morning, Lafaya.
Okay.
And I was outside, and spring has sprung, and a lot of the trees are going green, but one of them is just now starting to show some blooms. And I was like, "Aw, you're a late bloomer too." Aw. Like in a field now of green, this pink and white tree is just coming into its own. And that's who I am.
Oh.
I am a late bloomer in every way.
Okay.
And I'm on a mission to encourage people that feel that way to recognize there's power in that. And the experience that you bring to the table is because you're a late bloomer, so to speak, according to who? Let's ask about that, but that's another topic. But that's really who I am.
Okay, Lonnie, so it sounds like you're already kind of delving a little bit into, the question I'm going to have for you today, or the first question I have for you today, which is, how do you, when you get dealt a bad hand in life, right? How have you maneuvered and played that hand in a way that's caused you to be successful? So can you share with me like your kind of playing the hand you're dealt story, your lemons to lemonade?
Sure. I was so excited. Each other. Are we here? Oh, we're here. Okay. Okay then. And I had just come off of ghostwriting, best paying job I ever had. And I'm ready to do more. And then I ate it on the skating rink for my 60th birthday. And I've never, ever, in thousands of hours on wheels, ever fallen backwards. I even declined the wrist braces that somebody had offered me. I was like, no, I'll be fine. And then I fell. And everything went crashing down, no pun intended, that day. And as a result of that, it was like being in a car accident. It took a while to kind of like have my brain settle and figure out what the heck am I going to do. And these are these moments where what you planned on really crashes. Like you might be planning on a good hand, like I absolutely was.
Right.
I had just been told by a professional in the business, girl, next time you got to charge 40,000, not 25. Because what you do as a book producer is all of it. Not a lot of writers can do all of it. And I'm so excited. I'm embracing the title. And then bam. And so the inability to type 65 words a minute, let alone sit and concentrate, was gone. And so what do? I believe with all my heart, and I'm proof that the universe shows up when we most need it, and answers come. As soon as a need arises, so does its solution. And
Okay.
and what had happened was a guy said, yeah, and this is all it takes is someone to paint a picture for you that you didn't know it could be. And so someone came along and said, well, this, that, and the other thing is something that people could do. And I was like, really? And in a million years, Lafaya, I never, ever, ever imagined myself being a workshop trainer, teaching people how to convey what they were born to say in no uncertain way. I was content to be the writer over there in the corner. Leave me alone. I don't need to know nobody.
Right.
Now I right? And so now what's happened as a result of this is it's way more than my dream coming true. It's everyone else's.
Yes.
Over 100 people, over 16, 17 books, 18 with you, plus mine, 20. Okay, like the number keeps growing, and right?
Yeah.
Who
So
knew?
this is awesome. Okay, because honestly, I know you, which is why I invited you, because you are a rock star and because you are the master of helping people to kind of take their concepts, their ideas, and turn it into a fantastic story, and doing it in a way where people feel like, like they got to know you, right?
Oh,
So, oh, guys, now what I'm talking about right now is Miss Lonnie Ray helped me to write my book, Poker, A Woman's Game, which I cranked out in, no lie, guys, a week after attending one of her workshops for her which one was speechless,
yeah.
giving the hashtag voiceless a voice, right? So I joined one of her workshops, and through that process, and I would say divine intervention, I was supposed to meet this woman. All she asked me a few questions, and then I just had this feeling come over me, like, Lonnie, what would you think about like the idea of like helping me write like a poker book? Because I know that the stuff that I teach in my therapy, and I think I mentioned to everybody that I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. If I didn't, forgive me. It's down at the bottom though. But in my practice, I've been helping people who are like hypersensitive, go into like red alert brain. And I know not everybody knows what that means, but think about it. It's like, Will Rogers, we have a problem here. If you've seen Inside Out, there's a problem, and everything's firing off, and we're in bad shape, and maybe start making bad decisions, right? But anyway, so I've been working with very sensitive people for many, many years. And I was able to take some of the concepts that I work with, or actually I was able to take my philosophy and apply it to my poker play. So there's like a 4-step philosophy that I use to help people to kind of calm down, to like, get into that like Zen, well, maybe not totally Zen, but more of a peace space than that red alert brain. And once I figured out that I could apply that to myself when playing poker, because in poker, there's this thing called tilt that I would often go on. But when I start to apply the 4 steps, which, I'll talk to you guys about that later. But when I started to apply the 4 steps, then I actually started to kind of calm down, have more peace. I wasn't feeling like I was having a panic attack when it came time for a tournament time, and things like that. So she was able to help me put a book together for women who play poker. And, that's how I met her. So sorry, long story, but, I'm introducing everybody to us. So
That's cool.
but yeah, it's been really cool getting to know you, and I did not know that you actually took an accident that you had where you injured yourself and was no longer able to do your ghostwriting, and turn that into what it is that you do now, right? This fantastic thing that you do now that nobody else who has bitten off of your concepts can do as well, okay? Because she is it right there. She's it. But anyway, okay, that's awesome, Lonnie. Okay, see, you learn stuff every day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a great story. I cannot believe that. We have to talk about this more later. But right now I'm going to take us into another segment. Now I know I didn't break everything down for everybody, but I'll be breaking this down into, when I do my interviews, I'll be doing, tell me a play the hand you're dealt moment, and then we'll go into this section that I call taming the tilt. Okay, guys. And now tilt, and I'll introduce this to you probably many times, but tilt, I made an acronym for the word tilt that comes from poker. And now in poker, when you go on tilt, you basically lose your sh it, right? You lose it, and then you lose your chips most of the time. So if you're a tournament player, like I'm a tournament player, you're basically out of the tournament. Okay, so because once you go on tilt, once something, you say you have pocket aces or something, which is supposed to be the best hand, starting hand in poker, right? And your pocket aces lose to that, they lose to that deuce seven or deuce four, deuce seven, worst hand in poker, right? Because there's always a chance that can happen, right? These kind of things happening can send you on what they call tilt, or someone out there being like, kind of another, mean player that's constantly going at you, or you feel like you're being attacked, whatever. These things can cause you to go on tilt. And I define it the acronym I use for it is tilt, TILT, temporary interruption in logical thinking. So, guys, whenever we enter into tilt in poker or in life, because like with Lonnie, she's on top of the world, first ghostwriting, or first really big ghostwriting job, and then all of a sudden, boom, can't write books. Okay. But what do you do in those moments to get through? I'm going to introduce that to you. But first, I'm going to show you my little, my little intro to it. So cue it up, Jason.
It's time for Taming the Tilt.
Right? Right? That's good, right? That's good, right? I just made that up. But anyway, and Jason is great. He added some flavor to it. But anyway, so Lonnie, I wanted to ask you, like, during that time, like moments like these can become very emotional, okay? Cause a lot of distress, right? So how were you able to tame that tilt? And by tilt, I mean, how did you not go into maybe like a deep depression and
I
just
did.
give up on everything?
I did.
Okay, how'd you battle through? What'd you do?
Yeah, we're humans, not robots yet. And you have to have something before you can give it away. And so I had to have all the feelings of loss and grief,
Uh-huh.
and it's a lot when you only have one operable hand and
Yes.
arm for pretty much the last year and a half.
Yes.
Um, it really does take a lot to process the changes, and wonder why you're here. What's the point? It really can be a tailspin into never land of depression and despair. And I have a lot of experience dealing with that depression and despair and untying the knots. And
Yes.
so after a while, and in most situations which aren't nearly as life-changing as this has been, um, you get to the place where you can say, oh, okay. It's like that, huh? Oh, okay. Okay. And it doesn't mean necessarily that you are okay with what's happened, but what is what shows up, and what you make of it is up to you.
Mm.
And you may not know what to make of it. I could sit here and puzzle all day long, but you know what? My one liner is delete the need to understand. Because if you get
Wait, wait,
yourself,
wait, wait, wait. You went through that really quickly. Say that again. People need to know this.
yeah, okay. So delete the need to understand is a
Relieve the
philosophy.
need to understand. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm glad you asked, because it really is important. We get stuck in these spirals of why did they do that to me, or whatever. Why again me? What, um, and the often, even if you could understand why somebody does what they do, it's not going to change what's done.
That's it.
And right, and so I know that you love in your theories to you're very good at reflecting back on yourself. What part did I have in this? Well, sometimes shit happens. I'm gonna say it. And if you can picture that word and then F it, then it becomes shift. And so
Oh, oh, oh! You threw in
my two
another
words right here, word nerd.
one. Go ahead, because you just keep on throwing in these little like nuggets, and then just keep on moving like you didn't just say something important. You have to pause after that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
You
really don't
heard
think.
that right. You
Huh?
heard that right. She she spelled. She said, she said, I'm just say it out. The SHIT. I'm gonna say, and she said, and then F it right. Add the F in there in this shift. Right. Oh, that's so good. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I appreciate the appreciating, because that's what we have to do. And at some point, I found that saying, "Oh, okay, it's like that, huh?" But it also happens when people are jerks, and you're like, "Oh, okay, it's like that, huh? Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah,
That's
oh,
right.
okay."
But
And you
you
don't say it out loud because those are fighting words. But if you say it to yourself, you can find your smile again. And when the place that you can do the most effective changes is a place of balance and peace. That's why your methods work so well.
Yes. Okay, so Lonnie, okay, so what I heard, because it was just so important, there was just so much in there, so much richness, okay, is that you have to go through your process. We're not robots. We're going to have feelings. And if anybody tells you that you shouldn't feel or that you should be ashamed of how you feel, then you whatever, however way you would correct that person, do that. Okay. Tell them to shut it up, you know. so, but it's so important to understand that there's a process to go through. So she says she went through a grieving process, and not everybody's very all the way familiar with the grieving process, right? But it's very real. And there's that Kubler and Ross, or however you say her name. Back in school, I learned in Psych 101, taught us about that. And if you guys look it up, because I'm not here to teach you all that stuff, but the grieving process, there are steps to it. DABDA, DABDA. And what you got to after getting through everything else, including the depression, was you got to a place of acceptance, right? And not so much that you just, say, oh, this is great or anything, but you just kind of move into a space where you're like, okay, what now? Okay, it is what it is. What now? Right? That radical acceptance, right? And so that's awesome. That was an awesome share. And then, instead of being like, instead of being stuck in where you are, make a shift. What can you shift into?
And the only way you can do that is, as I say, acceptance is the key to peace. And it doesn't mean that what happened is okay. It just means that you recognize what it is for what it is and what it isn't. And then you can. Oh, so here's a key question that I like to share. I'm kind of on a mission to share this question, which is, how can I have more fun today than I ever thought possible?
Oh, I like it.
When you ask how, it implies that there's a what. And you don't have to sit here and go, how can I go have fun? Just ask the question, let it go. And then at the end of the day, if you remember to look back, because it actually will be a better day than you thought, if you remember, you'll realize that it came about on its own. And it is setting this intention in motion. And from that place, and believe me, I didn't have a lot of fun days. It wasn't. It's not. It's a process. It's a process of healing and a journey. And I think that those things will never stop happening. So we do have to find coping skills. And oh, okay, it's like that, huh? Is it? By the way, that's the gist of my dumbass book. How to, yeah, how to well, how to deal with the dumbass.
I'm gonna say, give him the whole title.
Yeah, right. My dumbass book and my dumbass podcast. It's based on how to deal with a dumbass, what to do and say when they come your way. And I may retitle it because people get all offended, but I'm like, listen, if somebody cuts you off on the highway, you're going to probably yell an F word or you're going to yell dumbass. And what happens is we take that to work with us, we take it home, we take it to the kids, we take it with us. And what we have to do is not do that. And so,
Yes.
right? Right?
Yes.
So
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Lonnie, you're taking me into, my step three, right? My step three, and you guys know I threw out that little four steps to at you. So I'll give you a couple. I'll give you a little just a little taste of it, right? But step one, find your calm. I know you guys are thinking you don't like me when I say that, but I'll explain it more later. Step two, understand the real truth, right? Get to a place to where you're like, okay, again, that it is what it is, right? And then that step three, understand the real truth. I mean, not, yeah, no, sorry. Um, oh, now my brain went. Okay, respond in alignment with your truest intentions, right? So when you're responding in alignment with your truest intentions, when that person on the road cuts you off, okay, for example, we did not wake up in the morning thinking, oh, yes, I'm going to be so agitated and irritated all day long based on what other stupid people out there do. Like, none of us wake up in the morning thinking, okay, that's our pleasure. Right? So when we're moving more into responding in alignment with our truest intentions, then what are our true intentions? Usually we want peace, happiness, good vibes, good feeling. And if you think that you don't want that, you're probably lying to yourself, because you're probably unhappy because you don't have those things. Um, okay. But typically when we're being honest with ourselves, we want those things in our lives. So to take the negative energy that someone else is putting out there on and carry it around with ourselves all day long is the last thing we really want to do, right? So asking ourselves questions like Lonnie gave, how can I have more fun today? Right? Try it out. Like, experiment with that if you're a road rager. I know I've had to, because I used to be that one. I'm trying to follow you, figure out how to pass you so I could flip you off back when I was younger. And now it's just like, it's like, I guess they're having a bad day. Let me slow down. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that's a little taste of the 4 steps, but you guys, I'll have some episodes later on where I'll really dig into those, and maybe it'll be, I won't have a guest that episode, so I can give you guys a little bit of that psychoeducation stuff.
Well, let me just jump in here, because I do know your story a bit. And for you guys out there, with this being the first show, she's worth listening to, if only because if you're the kind like I used to kick walls. Okay, when I was younger, I was pissed off for 5 years or more. Right, Lafaya and I have this in common, because we have energy that's pent up. We've been wronged, whatever. We've been abused. We've been through shit. Okay, and then there's nowhere to put it, and swallowing negative emotion is like taking poison. It only hurts you. And she has gone from flipping over tables in the front of poker bigwigs to rising in the ranks and sitting at the final table. Lafaya knows what she's talking about. She's lived it. She's walked it. She's not just talking it. And I really believe in you and what you have to offer.
Yes, well, thank you. Okay, you guys. Now, I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I'm feeling like that was a wonderful, it felt like a session. You taught me some stuff, Lonnie. It felt like a wonderful session. I hope that you learned a lot. If you feel like there are things that, oh my goodness, that was so good, but I don't know if I'm going to remember it, listen to it again, share it with your friends, guys, because this information is valuable. It will help you to learn how to live that life that you're looking to live. Sometimes we are not doing that because we're not intentional about it. But if we become intentional about it, then all of a sudden, there you are. Okay. So I'm going to say that I'm going to have Lonnie, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you just kind of share one like golden nugget that you want everybody to take from today's show.
A recap of today or something new? I got a lot.
No. One go from a recap. One golden nugget.
Delete the need to understand.
I was hoping that was what you delete the need to understand. Now, guys, if you seriously, it's so important to not try to force your brain to figure out why something is happening, especially when it's something terrible, because there are no good answers to that question. It's either, okay, why me? Did I do something in a former life? Am I a terrible person? There are no good answers. So delete the need to understand and understand the problem and move into the solution, right? Move into the solution. That's where you find your peace.
Yeah. Okay? Oh, okay. It's like that, huh? Let's keep going. Okay.
Right. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys. So now, if Lonnie, can you also let them know really quickly, how do they contact you? How do they schedule with you? Guys, if you are ready to put together a book, you feel like you have a good idea that you want to be able to kind of bring out, she is the master. So how do they contact you?
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm happy to help you figure out if you have a book at all, first of all. You can go over to my website, booklonnie.com. And it doesn't have to be about a book. You might be surprised that your message might fit better in an anthology or whatever, but let's just have a chat. I offer a valuable consultation in story development and content strategy. Just visit booklani.com.
All right. Fantastic, guys. All right. Now we're going to close today. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, it's not about the hand you're dealt, it's about how you play it. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for watching the Lafaya Way podcast. Please like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.